Dr. Josiline is the Zimbabwe local network lead of the African Reproducibility Research, AREN, and AREN Regional Coordinator for Southern Africa. Josiline is an editorial board member of the AfLIA Journal of Web Librarianship, and an advisory board member of the Open Book Futures Project. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, let's welcome Dr. Chigwada as she deliberates on the topic of bridging the digital divide, building equitable infrastructures for open access in the Global South. Welcome, Doctor, and the stage is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Greetings, colleagues. I'm going to deliberate on the topic, bridging the digital divide, building equitable infrastructures for open access in the Global South. If we look at it, a lot of things have been happening in terms of the infrastructural development, if we look at it in the Global South. And before that, we were mainly depending on the Global North because in some cases, they've got the finances that they can use to develop their infrastructure. So now in the Global South, why is it that we are worried about open access and the digital divide, mainly during this week of open access commemorations? If we look at open access, I believe some of these issues have been dealt with by the previous speakers, but just to reiterate their importance, if you look at open access, it helps us in improving the visibility, reusability, and the impact of our research as researchers from the Global South. Why? Because if you look at it, some of the information that we have been publishing in journals that are in the Global North, it's subscription-based. And in most cases, our institutions do not have the finances to subscribe to those resources. Now, if we look at digital divide, there is digital divide between areas. Let's say it's within a certain city, there is digital divide within a city. Within a country, there is digital divide within a country. Within the region, there is a digital divide. And internationally, digital divide is available as well. So we'll be looking at the issue of connectivity, the issue of storage, the issue of skills, the issue of policy, which prevents equitable participation in the research process, as well as accessing the research output as well. And then there is an aspect of equitable infrastructure, whereby we are saying that this looks at technical, organizational, policy, and financial infrastructure for people to be able to access the resources, as well as to publish those resources as well. Now, the components of equitable open access infrastructure, we look at the issue of the network and connectivity. Is it affordable? Is it offering reliable research? And also the availability of educational networks within our countries, within our regions, and internationally. We also look at local repositories and publishing platforms. Some of them are community-owned, some of them are institutional-owned, some of them are organizational-owned. And then we also look at the issue of data management, storage, and FAIR-aligned services. If we look at FAIR, it talks about the issue of findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, meaning that the services that we offer, are they aligning to the FAIR principles? We also look at capacity building, the issue of training. Do we have the skills that are needed for us to be able to have the infrastructure that enables us equitable access to the services that we have? And from that, and policy support in supporting what we are doing as researchers, what we are doing as stakeholders that are available within the publishing landscape. I have managed to identify a number of case studies from the Global South. A lot is happening in developing equitable infrastructure to enhance open access. Let me start with the African Platform for Open Scholarship. With this one, I can spend the whole day talking because I've experience in using it. I've witnessed the benefits of using it. This one, it allows us to take ownership of creating and sharing our own scholarly content. And looking at the theme for this year, who owns the knowledge? It means that now, when you are using this African platform for open scholarship, we are owners of our knowledge. We are owners structure. We are owners of the policies that we make. We are the ones who are governing that platform. So if we look at it, this one, it is working directly as journals, DOAJ, Directly of Open Access Books, and the Association of African Universities. And currently, it is hosted at the University of Cape Town. And every publisher who is willing to publish open access is free to join this platform. And I looked at the journals that are available on EPOS. It's worrisome because only 5 countries are represented. There's South Africa, there's Namibia, there's Zimbabwe, there's Cameroon, there's Nigeria. And the question that comes to mind is, does it mean that other countries, do they have the infrastructure that allows us or allows our institutions to publish open access? Or maybe not publishing at all. If we are not publishing, then where are we publishing? If we are publishing in other journals that don't belong to the Global South, who is owning that knowledge? Are we owning that knowledge, or we are selling our copyright to the Global North? And then in terms of textbooks, there is the Open Monograph Press also that is available on the African Platform for Open Scholarship, whereby institutions that want to publish books, open access books, can also be part and parcel of this platform. Currently, only South Africa is represented with the University of Cape Town and the UCT Press. But I'm happy because my institution, very soon, it will be available on that, because space was created for us to publish open access book. So as we be using these platforms, we now know that the infrastructure is available for us. Why? Because if you look at it, in most cases, we don't have the funds to develop a robust infrastructure that will ensure 24/7 services that we are offering in open access publishing. Now, in the event that you want to contact those who are responsible, who are currently responsible for the African Platform for Open Scholarship, there is the email address. Jill is the section manager for the scholarly communication and research. And also you can use the scholarly communication and publishing email, which is appos@uct.ac.za. This one is good because ownership is yours. They are just hosting the platform, but when it comes to the look and feel of everything that will be publishing, it will be belonging to your institution. As a result, it's your institution that will be owning the knowledge that you are publishing. So that question, that theme, who owns our knowledge, always comes into play when you're looking at the digital infrastructure that is available in enhancing open access in the Global South. There is a platform for us. Let's think about it. In the event that you're thinking about publishing, you can always look at it and then try to evaluate whether you'll be able to utilize it. So this is one of the infrastructure that is available for us to bridge the digital divide that is available, especially for those institutions that do not have the funds and other facilities and resources to ensure that we publish open access. Case study number 2 is the African Open Science Platform. I've managed to come across this, and this one, it plays a vital role to coordinate, support, and promote open science initiatives at regional and global level. It is one of the platform that is used to bridge the digital divide, to enable us, people who are in the Global South, to own our knowledge in public and share and publicize and share our knowledge internationally. Because in most cases, our voice was not heard in journals that are subscription based, and at the end we were not able to subscribe to those resources as people who are in the Global South. So now this African Open Science Platform, it's a continental initiative that was started to coordinate open science activities and bridge and build regional nodes. And the aim is to identify gaps, support policy, and capacity build across regions. So it works with regional and national stakeholders to increase the impact of open science within the Global South. And then it was established in 2017. And currently the initiative is being hosted by the National Research Foundation in South Africa. And it has support from the South African Department of Science and Innovation and the International Science Council. So this one, it works to make sure African voices of research are heard on equal footing and improve access to knowledge as a way of enhancing the ownership of our knowledge as researchers and publishers from the Global South. So it is a coordinating hub that aims to create opportunities through collaboration and development of shared open infrastructure and a central repository. So this platform is key in bridging that digital divide that is available within our institutions, within our countries, within our region, as people who are operating from the Global South. And in 2023, this platform appoints 3 regional nodes. What are those? These are: 1, the Egyptian National Authority for Remote Sensing and Space Sciences for the Northern African node that is based in Egypt. And number 2, the African Institute for Capacity Development for the Eastern African node based in Kenya. And then the UbuntuNet Alliance for the Southern African node that is based in Malawi. So if you look at it, these 3 nodes are ensuring that us as Africans, we have access to the infrastructure that is necessary to ensure that we own our knowledge as researchers and as publishers as well. Case study number 3, there is the Africa Archives. This one is it enables us to publish our preprints. When you are working on a manuscript, you can publish a preprint to ensure that it goes out there before the main published version of a peer-reviewed article is available. So this one enables you to get impact there and there, and then you can also get reviewers from other people so that you improve on the final article that you submit for publication. So this one is a community-led preprint or archive for African research outputs, and it focuses on African ownership, multilingual submission, and repository partnerships as a way of helping us to increase the discoverability and early dissemination of African research. As a result, if we use this platform, it means that we are owning our knowledge and we are also improving the impact of the research that we are doing in the Global South. Case study number 4, we have the Open Research Africa. This one, it uses the model for just like the F1000 model, which enable rapid sharing, discovery, use, and reuse of African research to the benefit of all, right? This one now, what is it? It is an open publishing platform that was mainly created to publish and increase the visibility of African research. If you look at all these case studies, you can see that we are trying to build infrastructure that will increase the ownership of our knowledge and to ensure that we are known out there, to ensure that our research is impactful, to ensure that we are able to bridge the digital divide that was available. If you look in most cases in terms of those open access publishers that use the APC mode. But these ones, most of them now, they are using the Diamond Open Access mode, whereby we are saying that neither the researcher nor the reader should pay to access knowledge, to access information. So it supports a range of article types, open peer review, and data deposition. This one is backed by African Academy of Sciences, and it is aimed at capacity building for researchers. As a result, researchers will be the owners of their knowledge. And then the subject area that are covered, you can see from this slide that all the subject areas are covered within this platform. And the benefits now, it has got benefits to researchers, it has benefits to the research field, and benefits to society as well. To researchers, there is extensive article option available, whereby we are saying that there are research articles, there are software tool articles, there are methods articles, there are data articles, and more. And then these articles are published rapidly and openly so that anyone can read and cite the work. As a result, here it means that you are not selling your copyright, but you are the owner of the information that you are publishing. And then authors can also be involved in peer review selection and helping to ensure that the most appropriate reviewers are invited to review their work. And within the research field, this one, it maximizes the reach and discoverability of research. Just like what I've pointed out, when you own your knowledge, you can do whatever you want with it. Unlike when you sell your copyright and you are not able to see how your knowledge is being used. Now, to society, it can facilitate collaboration, engagements, and dialogue around research and reduces research waste and helps to remove any biases in our understanding of research. And it also maximizes the potential for research to be used to have real world impact. So if you own this knowledge, it means you can do whatever you want with it in terms of improving the visibility, in terms of improving the impact and how other people use that work. Case study number 5, we've got research and education networks. These have been working to enhance the infrastructure that is available within the global south to ensure that we own our knowledge as researchers and institutions. So we have national research and education networks that provide affordable, high-speed connectivity for universities and research institutions. For example, we've got UbuntuNet for East and Southern Africa that came out from those nodes, 3 nodes that I talked about. And we've got Wakren from West and that covers West and Central Africa, which interconnect regional national research and educational networks. And within every country, there is an NREN that is available to ensure that infrastructure is robust for researchers and other institutions as well. And then this provides a network backbone that is essential for repository access, data transfer, and collaboration. They help us to own our knowledge as the Global South researchers. So this is a picture of UbuntuNet, and this one is the picture for Wakren, whereby Lipsense is strengthening open science in Africa. And a lot of activities are being done by these research networks to enhance the ownership of our research within the Global South. What are the lessons that we have learned from these case studies? Number 1, it shows that local ownership and governance boost trust and sustainability. If we own our things, if we develop our own infrastructure, it means that we'll be able to deal with the issue of sustainability, and researchers and other research organizations will trust the things that we'll be putting within that within those services. Take a look at this. Let's say you are a researcher, you are writing about something that the Global North doesn't agree to. You submit your manuscript to their journal, automatically it will be rejected. Not because it's not a good article, but because you're writing something that they do not agree with. But if it is yours, it means that you'll be able to publish things that are in line with what you are doing, things that are correct, things that are inclined to the Global South, and then you'll be able to increase and improve your reach as well. And then number 2, another lesson is network infrastructure plus local repositories and training must work together. Sometimes we might build very, very good infrastructure. We might have it. But if we are not localizing the things and if we are not offering capacity development to make sure that we utilize the infrastructure to enhance open access and bridge the digital divide, we are not going anywhere. But they work together to ensure that we achieve the goal that we want within the global South. And we are Africa that we want as well. And then another lesson is the funding models should combine public, philanthropic, and institutional support for us to be able to ensure that we get the finance that we want to enhance the infrastructure that we have and build and bridge the digital divide that is currently available. It means that our funding models should be taking from all those, and they have support from the institution, they have support from the government, they have support from the NGOs. And if we pull those resources together, we'll be good to go, and our infrastructure will be robust and compete with the Global North. And another lesson is that policy alignment unlocks scale. Look at national research policies, look at funder mandates, look at institutional policies as well. If you align those, it means that we'll be able to bridge the digital divide that is available within the Global South. Now, I've got a few recommendations that are managed to issues that I've been talking about. Number one, we need to invest in the national and research educational networks and affordable bandwidth for research and education institutions. Why? Because this is the infrastructure that is needed within the institutions that are working with for us as researchers, for us as publishers to be able to bridge the digital divide and own our knowledge by having things that belongs to us. And there's need also to support community-owned repositories such as Africa Archive and the institutional repositories. I believe, especially in universities, almost every university, they've got an institutional repository that archive the research output of the institute. And that means that within that IR, you are the owner of the knowledge and you'll be able to do whatever you want with that knowledge and you'll be able to be visible and impactful. And as a result, there's need to support those repositories for them to flourish. And then we need to adopt fair data standards and invest in data management services. If you look at it, most of the research that is being done have got a lot of data that is being generated. But if you look now at accessing that data, it's nowhere to be available. Some of the researchers do not want to archive their data, but we now need to adopt those standards for us to be able to compete with the global north in terms of the services that we provide, in terms of ownership, in terms of impact, in terms of the results that we yield when we are using these services. And if we don't build our own infrastructure, then it means we'll continue depending on the global north. And then there's a need to create regional nodes and shared services to reduce duplication and costs. If you look at it, in some cases, my institution might be doing something that the next institution is doing. And instead of developing the same one infrastructure that we can utilize whilst we are doing those separate services, we are not willing to do so. Most institutions, they want competition. Most institutions, they want to say that, no, this belongs to us. We are the owners. But if we are able to create the regional nodes and then share those infrastructure, we'll be able to minimize on costs as well as to bridge the digital divide in enhancing the ownership of our knowledge. And then align national policies and research assessment to reward open practices. In most cases, if you look at the policies of some of the institutions, they are not worried about how they've been promoting those who are doing open practices. Because now we're saying when you're doing research assessment, assess that as well. Who is supporting open science? Who is supporting the activities that are available in enhancing the ownership of our knowledge? Who is supporting those services that are available that bridge the digital divide? So now we need to align not just national policies, but institutional policies as well, and the ways that we do our research assessment within our institutions so that we are able to reward those who are participating in enhancing the ownership of our knowledge through open practices. In terms of capacity and sustainability, I can say that there is need to fund long-term capacity building and training. In most cases, we are worried about having the skills that are needed just when we are starting. But what about in the long term? We can adopt the trainer model, whereby we are saying that we are trying to get funds to capacity build for a long time to ensure that there is perpetual access to skills that are needed in bridging that digital divide. And then there is also need to develop clear governance and sustainability plans for the platforms. In most cases, our platforms are developed through grants. Sometimes when you apply for a grant, you develop the platform, it's running. But then what about in the long term? Are we able to sustain those things if we are not, if we do not have clear governance structures, if we do not have clear sustainability plans? We need to think about how we can sustain those platforms to be able to bridge the digital divide and own our knowledge as well. And then we also need to encourage self-to-self collaborations. In most cases, I don't know what's wrong with us as Africans. We don't want to collaborate with our fellow Africans. We want to rush to the global north and collaborate with people who are from the global north. Why can't we collaborate within the global south? There are a lot of skills available. There are a lot of funds available. If we collaborate and share them hosting or a procurement of the infrastructure that is needed for us to deliver the services that are needed in open science to bridge those digital divides, will be able to go far. So we need to encourage South-to-South collaborations for us to get to where we want as Africa. And then we need to measure the impact also with metrics meaningful to local communities, not only the citation counts, but there are other metrics that we can rope in to ensure that our local communities benefit from the ownership of knowledge and the digital divide bridging through the infrastructure that we have, that we own as the Global South. Now, let me finish off with a call to action. From the funder side, what I can say now is we need to prioritize infrastructure in training, be it in our grants or in our budgets or in our funding models that we have as the Global South. Let's ensure that we make it a priority, ensure that infrastructure is available. We make it a priority to train the people who are responsible for using those services, that ensure that we are reached to where we want to go as Africa in terms of open science. And then in institutions, we need to adopt open policies and support repositories. If you look at it, in some institutions, we don't want even to hear about open access. We don't want to hear about open science because most of us, we want to go commercial. Most of us, we are worried about getting the monetary incentive and ignore the incentives that are available through open science. But now we need to adopt the open policies within our institutions and support the institutional repositories to ensure that they have the impact that we want and the benefits that we want as researchers. And from the researcher side, we need to develop activities that ensure that we share our principles, our preprints, we share our data, we share our code, at the same time mentoring early career researchers. If you look at Africa Archives, a lot of impact is most researchers are taking advantage of it to have a lot of impact. If you publish your preprint, it means that you are going to get more citations. Your article is going to be read by many people because it's available, it's open access, and anyone will be able to have access to it. Unlike when you want to wait for the publication process. In some cases, some manuscripts, they can take 6 months, some they can take 10 months, some they can take a year before publishing your final version. But if you share now your preprint, the impact is there, and then you'll be able to reap the results and also manage to bridge the digital divide that is available due to lack of maybe available infrastructure for people to be able to access and own the knowledge. And then to regional bodies, what I can say is we need to coordinate to reduce fragmentation and create shared services. With shared services, we'll be able to achieve from the African Platform for Open Scholarship. It's a shared service which is being hosted at one place, but many institutions will be able to benefit in publishing open access. So with that coordinated effort, we'll be able to benefit more from the infrastructure that will be available. And at the end, we'll be able to bridge the digital divide, because an institution that is not able to buy that infrastructure, that is not able to offer those services, will be able to come on board, and then will be able to own their knowledge and share their services as well. With that, I thank you.